Man, the tone of her voice is unto her freaking self. Whew. What even is that? It's interesting when her voice gets up. What did she say? Oh, 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 ah. And then that high tone, ah. It's very, very focused, very pointy tone that she gets into when she shifts gears up there. It's like an instrument, like an oboe. She sounds like an oboe when she gets up there. Yeah, that focused sound. This song is crazy. These riffs and runs and agility, the way that she's using her agility, this feels to me like this song may be a more traditional piece, just stylistically, the way these notes are turning around. Not something we hear often in the West. And to be honest, in the Chinese music I've reviewed, not something we hear currently. It sounds like of the past. This is really interesting use of this back and forth agility that I'm hearing throughout the song. Woo. Whew. These turnarounds she's doing are really accurate and really complicated, really a lot of notes in a tiny, tiny place. Like tons of those. And she's looking pretty effortless, too. Well, that high note, she kind of chose to thin it out. She has a very powerful voice. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I also heard a teeny tiny, maybe, pitch deviation, which tells us that this is at least reasonably live. I'm kind of surprised that she chose that when she went up to thin it out that way, but still beautiful, still really beautiful. I like her, and this is cool to hear her do something like this with these interesting turnarounds. Yeah! Do you hear that? That little grit? Love it. She's really good. Yeah, she's great. Those fucking turnarounds, man. So I like the tone of this singer's voice. It's more modern of a tone, closer to what we hear in today's popular music. However, those beautiful, complicated turnarounds, those agile moments, she's doing something. She's definitely doing something in place of them, but they're not as complex as the first singer. Now, that doesn't mean it's lesser than. As a matter of fact, it's more relatable to my ear, but I, as a vocalist and vocal coach, recognize that the first performance had a lot more complexity. But that's beautiful. That tone I thought was really lovely. It's interesting. So to some degree, she may be choosing to not do the full complexity of those because it's hard. Those are very, you can't just casually do those styles of riffs and runs. But to some degree, she could also be choosing to simplify them or pull them into a more modern take. I would also say that she looks younger, and it's possible that her ear didn't grow up listening to that kind of thing as much as a singer who's a bit older, so it might not appeal to her as much. I don't know if this song is rooted in like the history of people's ears. If it is, then I don't know if people will appreciate a more modern, simplified, cleaner take, or if they will miss those traditional sounding riffs. See that weird edit? I gotta say though, if I'm comparing her agility to the average singer's agility, I think it's above average. Just compared to the first singer, it's a lot less use of agility and it's less tight. But I can't be blinded by the fact that I'm comparing it to someone. She is reasonably agile, like above average, I would say. So she purposefully, when she went up, is using more of a falsetto-y or head voice-y sound. Yeah, which maybe is suitable for her style and her performance. I think this was a great performance. And so far, which did I prefer? I can't say. They are two different things. I enjoyed both of them, actually. I think the first singer is a more technical singer, but that's not even a fair comment. It is. It isn't. Oh, I don't know. They're just two different things. I think they both did well. Old school video. Hey, I know her. We have the matching teeth space. Woo. Woo. 难道说还有无言的歌，还是那久不能忘怀? So like our first singer, this is extremely detailed, and she is nailing it, although I do feel that this is edited, or maybe even she might be lip singing, but either way, great vocalist, tons of beautiful details in her riffs. And again, the more sort of what I imagine to be more traditional Chinese sounding intervals. Not a modern take. I mean, the video looks old, so I don't think she was trying to be modern. Ooh, interesting. So she goes, oh. So we have her using mixed voice in the beginning and then going up into a lighter take and almost uses maybe an H, maybe a little bit of a yodel, like, oh, oh, oh. That's different. She's definitely a great vocalist. Really great vocalist. I like what she does with her vibrato and where she chooses to put it. I call this the bounce, and this translates from this more maybe traditional sounding Chinese music all the way to pop music. Maybe you recognize hello from the other side. Do you hear that little sigh, little bounce? La, la, la. She's even putting a little yodely bit in there where we hear the register change inside the riff. Like there's a lot of notes in there. Woof. I love that she stretches a note, then adds vibrato. The lips don't always match on this guy, but maybe some is live. Even more yodel on this one. Oh! So we hear mix and yodel and yodel and yodel, and then that kind of head voice, which I am surprised she didn't say from the kind of singer she is. Oh! And use more of a thick tone at the top, but it's still lovely what she chose. Shan, shan. There's a lot of little notes in those turnarounds. Hey! That's full power through the ending. Love it. She's got a great voice. She has a great voice. This is more traditional style than the last one we heard, but this is really great vocals. This is quite nice. She is using the register changes. We're hearing some of those yodels. And pretty complex versions of the riffs. Not as fully complex as Singer 1 and Singer 3, but a really nice mix of a lot of different skills packed into one singer. That is a more modern style riff. The notes she chose is a more modern, like my ear instantly felt the difference between the intervals. So she's modernizing this as well. I like that. The whole thing feels pretty powerful. Sha, right? Yodel. Sha. I love that. She's using those little breaky breaks and bounces to keep us interested. So that might be part of her personal style. It almost feels Middle Eastern in a way, how frequently she's using it. But I really like it. There's also something modern about it. I don't know. So she used a bunch of register changes to bring that end piece to life. All singers have done a different take of the end piece. I gotta tell you, I think that might be my favorite. I think she really did some interesting things while keeping the spirit of the song, bringing some modern pieces in, and keeping also herself. I think that might be my favorite.
Interesting.
I didn't want to love it.
Interesting. Well, she did modernize it a bit, I think.
That's probably why I'm a sucker for modern.
Maybe. Her riffs and runs are more R&B. Like.
She just went for that one. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
Just fuck it. I'm going to do Beyonce. Is it the same thing? This feels, it's really, really contained. This is using some agility, but it is not as complex and detailed as some of the other singers we have heard. It's pleasant. It's a really more, this is more floaty and sort of subdued than anything else we've heard so far. Whoa. Hers is more contained than some of the other ones. more of a masky sound. She's using a lot of the chambers in her face to make the shape of her sound, so we hear more of her face in this style of vocalizing. Beautiful. This is piercing, and it's kind of unto itself. This feels more traditional, but is not quite as complex as the first singer. But it does have that more of that authentic feel, the way she's moving through it, I guess. Maybe is one of the more edited ones as well. Very dramatic, very beautiful, very perfected, maybe. Which seemed to suit the song, I think. Each singer definitely has their own take on those particular riffs and how detailed they want to go. That sounded great. It didn't really fit what her face was doing, meaning I am not entirely sure that that section was live, but it sounded really, really good. Nice, compressed, belty. It's good. I thought it sounded great. I don't think this was my favorite, but I think it's a really strong performance overall. The arrangement and her stylistic choices were strong. Just from a vocal coach perspective, not my very favorite, but good.
Who is your favorite?
Oh man, I think...
Think about it this way. Skill-wise, who is really the most prolific? And
I think my favorite from a skill set is either the first singer or the singer with the teeth. But I think the most enjoyable performance that I think marries artistry, pulls it into the present, and I personally felt the most captivated by, performance-wise and vocally, was the lady with the scarf. Do you want to do the pop yodel crash course? We're going to start by talking, yelling a note. Repeat after me. Hey! When we're talking or yelling, there's very little air in the tone. Now repeat after me. When we sigh, there's a lot of air in the tone. So we're going to go from a lower talking, yelling note, hey, to a higher sigh note. Now we have to smush them together recklessly. Hey, ha! Here's the clincher, no H. If I say, hey, ha! I will never get that pop sound. Keep the energy always pushing forward.